Hello, really well-beings. Dr. Bartier here in holiday mode. It's been half term, and as you can see, I get hairy over half term. Every half term, I reflect on relationships because I spend a lot more time with my kids, and I think this is a perfect opportunity for me to bring out the best in myself and my relationships with my kids. And I would like to share my insights with you about something I call the art of peace. Now, many of you may have heard of the art of war, which is an ancient Chinese book describing how one can win at war. I have read this and translated it into the art of peace. Because that's really what I would like. So there are three elements to the art of peace that I'm going to describe, that I've translated. And I'm also going to share an acronym with you that I'm hoping will help you explore and develop the art of peace so that you can have a wonderful life. It begins like this. So the art of war has three elements in it. The first is know your war. So Lao Tzu said, it's better to win the war rather than win a single battle. Now, I have translated that into know your purpose. So what's your ultimate reason for being here? So if you've got any feeling about something, you can always dig deeper to find out why, and then why, and then why again. It's important to you. And when it comes down to the ultimate purpose, it's usually a timeless quality like love, peace, acceptance, presence. And so it's really important to find out and know your purpose. And it takes some time, but find any feeling that you've had an emotional reaction to. So, for example, if you felt hurt about something, that bit of hurt tells you that there's something you love that may be valuable, that you'd really like to flourish. And so you can dig deeper and follow that love to find your purpose. And so my ultimate purpose is to be at peace and in love with my family, or one of my ultimate purposes anyway. So that's knowing my purpose. The next part is knowing your self. So in The Art of War, it says, understand yourself and your weaknesses and work with your weaknesses. Now, in my experience, we all have weaknesses and habits and deficits that aren't really helping us achieve our greater purpose. And yet I see those weaknesses as opportunities to understand and develop further. So I see it as know yourself. And so you may have noticed I have a slight habit of being slightly impulsive. I also have a tendency that you may call dyslexia, and combine the two and I make a whole lot of mischief when communicating. And yet when I notice those habits come up, I see those as opportunities to raise my game and find new, novel and creative ways of expressing myself. Hence these videos and all these acronyms. So know yourself. So it takes a degree of kindness and honesty to do that. The next bit is know your team. Now, in The Art of War, he says, know your enemy. So if you understand your enemy, you can then work effectively in that war. Now, by seeing your enemy as part of your team, because ultimately, I would like someone who's apparently my adversary to become my ally. So I want to turn an enemy into a friend. That's my ultimate purpose. Peace with them, so that I've got even greater strength and we've got that together. So I really want to understand them and where they're coming from. It's my experience that everyone is doing the best they can with what they've got, and that can keep getting better. And so by understanding them, we can find a way, our common ground, and collaborate. Because our ultimate purpose is pretty much the same. When I listen to most people, they usually want peace, love, and presence. And I have a sense of abundance. So I came up with a little acronym that I put into practice, and I sometimes teach this in medical school, and I use it if I'm feeling a bit lost in my presence practice or my general practice. And it goes, I can, made, we win. So I can, made, we win. There should be a comma there, really. Okie. So, as with most of my work, it comes in quartets, and each part are instruments which are beautiful in their own right, and put them together, they harmonise and make something beautiful. And it begins with inspect. So before I embark on a relationship, before I open my mouth, I take a calm breath if I can, switch on my best self, and inspect the situation. I tune in to my purpose and what's happening in myself. And then I connect in with that person. So I make some opening to connect with kindness and honesty. And as my brother taught me, no act of kindness is wasted. And I've found that repeatedly. And so I connect in with what's happening, and also make that opening and point of connection. And it's not just a cerebral connection, it's doing so with my body also. And we are communicating non-verbally most of the time. So doing that little bit of effort makes a big difference. The next part is accept. And my sister taught me this, that one has really listened to someone, or someone is really prepared to hear what you've got to say when they feel fully heard. And they feel fully heard when their position has been fully accepted. And that takes a degree of integrity to be open and be ready to be changed by someone else's opinion. And I know I've achieved that if I can say, you know what, I accept where you're coming from, and also where I'm coming from too. The word "and" comes in a lot. And so, to quote Stephen Covey, seek first to understand yourself and also your team. And then, and only then, be understood. Where you come to the next part, which is negotiate, where you offer to work together to find an outcome that brings out the best in all of you. And that takes, again, courage. So we're combining kindness, honesty, humility, and courage, putting them all together in this mixture to then follow through this cycle. And you can do it at any stage. And negotiation often involves summarizing, so checking in with the other person to make sure you're on the same page, chunking, sharing information, and then checking again that that's been understood, and coming up with a solution that both works. And if you're finding an impasse, asking a simple question like, what should we do now? Or what's your understanding? Or what are the obstacles? What are the problems? And if there are doubts about, it's good to get them out at the negotiation phase. And so we come to the next bit, which is made we win. So I can, made we win, because I'm looking for all of us to win. And the made are just a simple way of me thinking, if I'm a bit stuck, there are usually 4 options. And this is pretty much quoted from Shakespeare's Hamlet, to be or not to be. And there are 4 options that Hamlet's got. I won't sing Shakespeare at the moment, but here you go. But there are 4 options, and that's maintain, attain, destroy, and enjoy. And maintain means continue doing what you're doing with that quality of collaboration, and often solutions will appear and opportunities will arrive with time and grace. Attain. So come up with a solution, maybe try something different, try something new, and make that your focus, and when you're doing it, do it. Destroy. And that is a painful thing to do. When you've invested solely in something, it's sometimes hard to release it and let it go. And sometimes it takes a deliberate intention to say, you know what, it's just not right for me now. I can let that habit go. And life requires a period of release or destruction to be reborn again. And then the third part is enjoy, which is simply to be at peace with whatever you are doing and knowing that you are doing the best you can. Having done that, we come to we win, which again extrapolated from lots of high performance athletes, and that is to work effectively. So to work effectively on what's important now. And your only point of influence is what's happening now. So you may as well prioritize what's important now and do what you're doing when you're doing it. And to work effectively, I described in a previous video where I described a Bristolian term, which is called all right, which is doing the right thing, the right way, for the right reasons, and right now. So it starts right now. And so that's my summary of The Art of Peace. And I wonder if you might like to give it a go yourself. I certainly have applied it, and with humility have found great love and peace and pleasure in my family over our time over half term. And it required me changing my habits, sometimes growing some hair. I hope you enjoy it and you find this useful. And just to recap, know that when you have an I can attitude, you make it a we win situation. All the best, and bye for now.